They say charm opens doors, but the truth is, charm opens cages, because when all you know how to do is be liked, you spend your whole life chasing approval from people who already forgot your name. That's the lie they sell you, that charisma is power. It's not. It's decoration on weakness. Charm attracts the crowd. Power commands it. And once you understand that difference, you stop performing. You start ruling. The world worships the charming, the smiles, the smooth talk, the magnetic energy. We mistake attention for respect and likability for influence. But history tells a colder truth. The most charming men were often the easiest to control, because charm without restraint is hunger. A constant need to be seen, validated, adored. And hunger makes you predictable. Predictable men are easy to lead and impossible to fear. That's why true power never dances for attention. It moves in silence and draws people in by gravity, not performance. Charm is built on emotion. Power is built on control. A charming man adjusts himself to fit the moment. A powerful man adjusts the moment to fit himself. One bends to be accepted. The other stands still and forces the room to rearrange around him. You can feel it. That tension when someone walks in and doesn't need to prove anything. That's not charisma. That's composure. That's dominance disguised as calm. The difference is subtle, but it's everything. Charm asks to be liked. Power allows itself to be seen. The modern world confuses noise for magnetism. They think posting more, talking louder, smiling harder makes them interesting. But the more you try to be seen, the more invisible you become. People sense desperation, even when it's dressed in confidence. They can smell the need to impress, and once they smell it, your control is gone, because the one who needs approval is always beneath the one who gives it. Charm depends on others. Power depends on self. That's why those who rule the room rarely speak first. They don't rush to fill silence. They don't chase validation. They let others reveal their own weakness through the need to connect. It's not arrogance. It's leverage. When you rely on charm, you're playing a losing game. You build your identity in the hands of your audience. You give them the power to define who you are. One wrong joke, one cold stare, one shift in mood, and your charisma dies. That's not power. That's performance. The most charming man in the room can be destroyed with silence, because charm feeds on reaction. And when reaction disappears, so does his strength. But power, real power, grows in silence. It thrives on mystery. It gains weight the longer it's unspoken. Law 34 from the 48 Laws of Power says, be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king. To be treated like one, that's the core of real charisma. It doesn't chase, it attracts. Because kings don't smile to be liked. They smile to control, comfort. Their presence sets the emotional temperature of every room they enter. You can feel it. That slow, deliberate energy of someone who knows their value. They don't rush to please. They make others earn their warmth. That's the difference between surface charm and strategic presence. Charm wants connection. Presence creates obedience. Look at history's great manipulators. Not the loud ones, but the calm ones. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must know when to be the fox and when to be the lion. The charming man stays the fox forever. Clever, talkative, playful. But the powerful man learns restraint. He lets silence do the work that charm could never achieve. Because mystery is magnetic. People can't resist what they can't define. When you reveal everything through charm, you give away your leverage. When you conceal through restraint, you gain control over curiosity. That's the secret. Control attention. Don't seek it. Create curiosity. Don't beg for it. And never forget that power lies in what you withhold not what you share. Every time you overshare to seem relatable, you lower your throne a little. Every time you try to prove you're interesting, you surrender authority. Because the moment you need to explain yourself, you've already lost command. Let people wonder. Let them project their fantasies onto your silence. They'll fill the void with admiration. Charm shows your cards. Power keeps its hand close until the game is over. Charisma without control is fire without focus. It burns bright, but it never lasts. It pleases the crowd, but it drains the soul. You start to live for their reactions, and the second they stop clapping, you collapse. That's the hidden tragedy of charm. It makes you dependent on the very people you're trying to impress. The moment you stop entertaining them, they move on to someone who will. That's why true power never performs. It creates silence and lets others fill it with respect. To master both worlds, you must learn balance. Use charm as a tool, not a drug. Smile to disarm, not to submit. Speak to guide, not to impress. Charisma is useful when it's governed by discipline. When you can turn it off as easily as you turn it on. The powerful don't reject charm. They own it. They use it strategically, like a blade. But never forget, the moment your charm becomes your identity, you're no longer dangerous. You've become predictable. True influence doesn't come from how you make others feel about you. It comes from how you make them feel about themselves in your presence. That's the quiet art of command, turning attention into submission without force. The powerful man doesn't shout. He shapes the atmosphere. He doesn't beg to be liked. He creates an aura that people want to please. He doesn't entertain the room. He owns it. So ask yourself, are you charming or are you in control? Are you chasing their eyes or are they waiting for yours? Because there's a difference between being magnetic and being manipulated. Charm without boundaries makes you a servant to approval. But power with composure makes you the standard everyone else adjusts to. The crowd will always love the charming man, right up until they find someone newer, louder, shinier. But they'll obey the powerful one, because power never asks to be loved. It commands to be felt. Stop trying to impress. Start to influence. Talk less, observe more, and when you finally do speak, make every word feel like a privilege to hear. Charm is temporary. Power is eternal. The most dangerous man isn't the one who makes everyone laugh. It's the one who can sit in silence while everyone wonders what he's thinking and prays he's thinking of them.